All right. Welcome. We are Hard to Kill. We're episode 37, and today we're with the Honorable Chris Martin and his boy Mike Nakamura. How we doing, guys?
Doing pretty good, man.
Chris, how we feeling?
I'm doing good, dude. I'd love to see this guy's face.
All right.
So
So Mike, if you don't mind, give us a little background. Where you from? Who you with? Where'd you go? Lay it on me.
Yeah, man. So I'm from Watsonville, California. It's like just south of Santa Cruz.
Okay.
So I grew up in the Bay Area. Let's see, I joined the Navy when I was 21, so I was an old cat, you know. Went with first started out second recon, try and do some SARC stuff over there. Then I shifted over, ended up at 2-2. Went with them to Helmand Province in '09. And then we went to Libya in man 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, then I bounced around, went up to Washington where I met Chris doing a bunch of poke stuff, you know.
Yeah.
being
Ran
instructors,
yeah, ran TCCC up there for I don't know, maybe like 2.5 years.
What'd you call it?
TCCC.
Break that down for us.
Yeah,
tactical combat casualty care.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so did that for like 2.5 years up there for the entire Pac Northwest region, and then got real lucky, caught orders down to San Diego to do a pre-com destroyer, and then pre-com the destroyer, and then I got medically retired out of here in like 2019.
Oh, you lucky duck, you.
Yeah,
Just kidding. I don't know how much of a pain in the ass that must have been. So, okay.
it wasn't too bad.
No? All right. So, all right. Now, you said you pumped out to Helmand. Break that down for us. What year was this?
Man, we left in October of '09.
Okay. What was the workup like? You went out to CAX in Cali? With
Yeah, I
TT?
got pretty lucky, man, because I like came in like halfway through the workup. So I didn't have to go do the winter out at Fort Pickett like everybody else. So yeah, we pumped out, basically went to the field for like 2 to 3 months, went out to CAX for like, like a month and a half. Caught everyone caught the swine flu out there.
Oh no.
Yeah, man, everyone caught swine flu. And yeah, I was out there doing fire support team stuff for a month and a half.
Okay. And clearly you were a doc, man. Is that something you always wanted to do, or did you get voluntold?
No, man, it's kind of a weird story. Like I was like with my sister was in the Navy, and she's like a single mom, and I was like down in El Centro where she was stationed helping her out. And then I was getting my hair cut at the base there, whatever. And they had that All Hands magazine. And then on the All Hands magazine, it was like, I don't know, like the 100th year of the corpsman or something. And I'm like flipping through it. This guy on the front cover, just like getting it, And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I started like flipping through and I was like, oh, they do like medical stuff. And then the next page, he's like kicking a door in. And I was like, oh, all right. The
That's the
next
both
one, like
worlds,
holding a
huh?
baby. Yeah. And I was like, oh, man, this guy does everything, man. I could do that for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely, and that's exactly where I was at too. Like, yeah,
So,
like
all right, what was Hellman like, man? I know to me when I first went over there, it was I want to say shocking, but it was a smack in the face, man. It was something I didn't expect. The way people lived over there, extremely resourceful for,
Yeah.
having nothing at all. Just being able to just the concept of getting drinking water out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty wild for us, man, because we went in there and the guys we replaced were like combat ineffective in 30 days.
oh shit.
Yeah. So we got spun up early.
Where exactly were you in Hellman?
Southern Helmand, Garmsir district.
Garmsir. Okay.
Yeah. So we went in there early, and man, we got there, and it's like these guys had no time to even like. There was no hooches. We're sleeping in tents on the ground if there was enough tents for everybody. Got there in October, so it's freezing cold.
Now it's funny. Not a lot of people realize that. It's it
Yeah,
cold as a motherfucker out there, huh?
dude, your zipper freezes like your
Yeah.
sleeping bag. you know. So it was ice cold, man. I remember writing letters home, my hands shaking, you know, like we didn't have internet. We had one sat phone for 400 dudes.
Good old sat phone.
Yeah, man. So you're
Can
lucky.
you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, the only way you get reception on that thing is if you stand up on top of the HESCO and make
Yep.
yourself vulnerable too, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. Of
So
course.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was a wild experience. But I mean, yeah, man, like you say, like it was shocking to me to see how these people lived and um yeah, if they wanted to carry water, right? They got to get a 5 gallon jug and carry that thing like 10 miles or 5 miles or wherever, and then they go back and do it again, you know, or just watching them like cultivate too, like how they cultivate the poppy. There's
Yep.
no way that like I'm gonna get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just start lancing poppies, you know?
Man, that's wild
Yeah.
how, I mean, really, that's the only way they make money out there, man, is,
Yeah.
getting the heroin to send back to America,
Yeah,
realistically.
yeah. I mean, like they're the largest exporter of opioids in the world,
Yep.
right? Like they like supply like 90% of the world's
It's
opioids.
insane, dude. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that really ties into, the opioid epidemic over here. Is it actually, think about the process of that? Does it actually, I mean, keep in mind, we rolled up a couple of guys, broke up a couple of exports of that. I'm talking bricks on top of bricks of this shit,
Yeah.
sealed,
Yeah.
but I mean, think about that, guys. I mean, is that really starting there and coming all the way over here? That's fucking wild.
Well, I think the thing is they export to China. Like their main export
Yeah.
is to like export opioids or the heroin or whatever to
Break that
China.
down though, Brent. Think about that. Where for that to be in the middle of fucking Afghanistan, how the
Yeah.
fuck does it get all over to? I mean, there's got to be a ridiculous corrupt system that pumps that all over the place. Because how the fuck do you get it out of there, dude? Think about, how it is
Well,
over there.
dude, it's not like acres, right? It's miles of it.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, it's
Stupid.
miles of this place.
Okay, so you were there with Tutu.
So yeah. So
Where?
Mike, let me go back on this. So Mikey, you were a sniper corpsman.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
sell
yeah.
yourself short here, bro.
All right, we don't hear
Yeah, man.
sniper corpsman often.
Originally I was with the weapons platoon or whatever. Then I got switched out to do fire support and do forward observer stuff. And since I had I'd been in recon for a little while, I had a little bit of like a baby background, um, of doing some special stuff or whatever. And then they our platoon got disbanded when we got to it was kind of weird, man, because I didn't find out I was going to do a state platoon until we were in country, essentially. And yeah, it was pretty wild, man. So yeah, I was with the state platoon. Started out just doing being like a radio guy or whatnot, and then eventually got a little time on the gun, a little time on the scope.
Huh. So does that mean you're attached to like one team, or are you actually going out with these guys? Are you staying? I mean, were you guys staying on a main fob, or were you on a little patrol base with the team?
No, yeah, we were a little patrol base, man. So they took the platoon, they split the platoon up. There's into 4 6-man teams, and we all went out to one of the four companies or whatnot. So we were the most northern team in southern Garmsir district or whatever, but we bounced around and helped out, went on missions together or whatnot. Some of the other teams interacted with them. Um, doing like large clearing ops or whatnot. We'd in place ourselves in different spots or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. So does that mean you're getting really close to one or two individuals? I mean,
Yeah, man. I mean, there's only 6 guys in our
that's what I'm
team,
saying.
and we only had 3 hogs. So basically, each one of us went with one hog, right? So I
Okay.
went with my buddy Downs most of the time, and Downs and I acted as our own little team together or whatnot. So yeah, man, you get real close to these guys real quick, you know.
So talk to me about how kinetic these things are, man. What are you guys dealing with? To give you an example, we were mostly mounted on my deployment with Doc, but a lot of times we would get volunteers to go out and sit on a patrol base with the local NA or AMP,
Yeah.
school them up on, operations, take them out on dismounted patrols.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we were running convoys. We had two main highways that we would patrol up and down where we established patrol bases on, and we would be clearing these IDs, dealing with the local Taliban on those roads. How does that compare to what you guys are doing?
Man, I would have prayed to be mounted, man, because we were dismounted the whole time. So we were there. We caught that volcano
You
eruption.
would,
Oh, no
you would
shit.
trade. You
Yeah,
would
so we
trade.
were there for that volcano eruption. So it was the craziest story, man. It's like they said, "Oh, we got a week left. Volcano erupted. Everyone thinks we're going out on our last patrols, right? Because the Advon was already there. And then we find out we have a month. We got to restart the clock. That
So
was
a
that
fucking
was crazy.
volcano. Where the fuck was this, dude?
Dude, it was like in Greenland, like a volcano erupted in Greenland and it stopped air traffic
Oh, fuck.
for like 2 weeks. And
Uh,
so like it pushed everybody's dates back for us. So but I
so
mean yeah.
just to let the viewers kind of like feel us a little bit. So when you're coming towards the end of your deployment, man, you start getting a little complacent.
Yeah.
You start thinking about the bars you're gonna hit, the little biddies that you can visit, and you really start laying out your plans. So we actually had something similar to that. So when we were just about to fly out, so as you know, Afghanistan is kind of like in the middle. Oh, it's the Middle East, but when you when you fly out, you either got to go around like over Japan or vice versa, which would be over like I think it's is it the
It's
Kyrgyzstan
Germany.
way or Germany and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poland,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Kyrgyzstan
Kyrgyzstan.
to Germany or
Yeah.
Ireland. Yeah.
So I think I forget what happened, but we were beefing with somebody and they denied us airspace. And we were going to go the I think fly over Asia and come around and land in Washington. But we got denied halfway, so we had to fly all the way back into country and then go all the it was oh my god, it was a shit show, dude. But
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I feel you on that. It sucks when something like that happens when you're about to leave, but hey. So give us a deployment story, dude. I don't mean to just squeeze you for some content,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
give
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
something that sticks out to you that was something that either motivated you or was kind of like a hit to the chest, if you don't mind.
Man, hit to the chest was but getting there, right, and like getting with the staple, like the scout snipers, right, getting there with these dudes, they've been training for years, right, they're all like experts in their field, and I am from a liberal town in California. My parents went to college, right, like I had never shot a gun before, like I got with the Marines, right, and then I'm with these dudes who are like essentially the elite of the infantry in a way,
Absolutely.
you know, and they're a bunch of alpha dudes, and I'm just like sitting there with them, right, man. I told Chris this story before, like our very first patrol, they're like, "Hey, man, how well do you do walking at night?" And I go, "I guess we'll find out."
Who does well walking at night?
Yeah, and like they're all there, and like they have no NVGs on, just gonna walk straight through the dark or whatever. I'm there with just like my busted NVGs that see sideways, you know,
Honestly,
and
I'm gonna
Yeah.
slow you down real quick. So NVGs, like they sound sexy. It sounds like night vision goggles. You'll be able to see whatever. And Call of Duty makes it seem so perfect that you can
yeah,
see everything at night, bro. If I'm dismounted and I'm running and gunning, I honestly prefer not to use NVGs because they're all over the place. They're falling. When you even get to look through them, it's like, what the fuck is going? I don't even know what I'm
yeah,
looking at half the time, dude. So for me, and honestly, dude, unless you got a pack or you got some kind of infrared to get an accurate shot with MBGs is, especially the MBGs that we had, the older ones, it's a process. It's a little bit difficult.
they're
So,
shaky. They're shaky to say the least, So like, but we're walking through these cornfields, right? They got all this corn up. And like I'm trying to stay close to this dude in front of me. His name's Hambrick, right? Hambrick's our team leader, right? And they have me in the middle because I'm like the corpsman. And dude, I lost this guy like halfway
oh
through this
no.
cornfield. And I was like so humbled, right? And I stopped my tracks, and I'm just like thinking back when I was a kid. I was like, man, if you get lost in the woods, you're supposed to find a tree, hug a tree, and like just stay where you're at. And these guys behind me, right? They're like, hey man, why aren't you moving? I go, oh, I lost everybody. Like I
Damn.
have no clue, man. It's my first mission with these guys too. And I'm like so embarrassed, man. Then the guy Hamber comes back and he's like, hey man, you gotta like hold on to my pack or something. And I was just like, I don't know if I can run at this speed, guys. And that's day one. And so that was super humbling for me, like first patrol in a new
Yeah.
in like possibly the most dangerous area in the world at the time. I got to like travel at nighttime
Yeah.
with dudes who are basically running, you know.
Really?
Yeah, man, we go so fast. And like I'm number one, when you're not a hog, man, when you're not a sniper, like you're carrying everybody else's load too. It doesn't matter if you're the corpsman or like you have somebody who, like special comm patrol. You're gonna share the load.
Absolutely.
So generally, like I carried, the heaviest things, right? I carried batteries. I carried like parts of the sasser. I carried
Yep.
like, all the equipment for satcom or whatever.
Good old
So I mean,
SATCOM.
yeah, and we never even use it. So I mean, but like, we're carrying all this stuff and we're going fast, man. And that was humbling for me, And I think like over a 9-month period, we did like over 100 missions though. Almost feels useless. You do 100 missions, you probably like get intel on like 5 people,
Oh, I know. I know.
So people think that like that job is like super sexy and like you're out there like, spotting for somebody and you're taking shots or whatever. But most of it's just human terrain mapping, man. We're just
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
intel. So
For
when
sure.
these runs come through, they can do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg wasn't there, bro.
Well, Mark Wahlberg also like racks back a sasser when they're semi-auto. So
Yeah,
Thank
I know.
you. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you. Does stuff like, dude, so whenever it comes to Hollywood and movies like that, man, it bothers the shit out of me because the way they portray it is just so cliche and so just a perfect cookie cutter story. And
yeah.
that's just not how it is, man. It's not that sexy. It's fucking it's terrible, man. It's hard. You don't have a lot of good days, but the good days that you do have, you remember, and they really stick with you. And I know for me they have, and those are honestly those were the building blocks of I think me building myself up as a man. I think any kinetic uh situation that we had really tests your morality and the principles that you believe in. But for me, honestly, whenever we had a significant kinetic opportunity, it was something that resounded in me, and it almost like I had a little mini flashback before it really went down. I would really my training would really like just ooze out of me, and I don't know if you can feel what I'm saying right now, but when something like significant happens over there, your brain isn't even really thinking on specifics. You just kind of move. It kind of just flows out of you. And I don't know exactly what that's called, but
I
yeah,
mean, it's
man,
like an instinct, man. I
it
mean,
really
like
is.
I know what you're saying though, man. I got into a firefight one time and we got pinned down pretty bad. Like, there was only
Now,
6 of us, man. We got pinned down in a house for like 3.5, 4 hours.
oh my God. I bet that
Yeah, man.
seemed like a fucking lifetime, dude.
Oh, dude, like I've never been so scared in my entire life. Like I
Now,
remember like having to take a piss, and I like went to the other end of the house to take a piss, and you could smell like ammonia,
oh, I'm sure.
you
I'm
know.
sure. I know
But
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, I was like, dude, if I don't get this out, like I'm not going to be able to hold this in or whatever. So, but I mean, we're bounding through a field, man, and like I like turn, pivot, and shoot, turn, pivot, and shoot, turn, pivot, and shoot, and then the whole like you're down, you're up, you're moving, down, you're up, you're moving, all that stuff kicks in, and like it's a lifesaver to be honest, to be able to just click into that primally.
So put yourself in that, if you don't mind, put yourself in that moment with me and kind of try to paint this picture. So you guys are in a significant firefight, and honestly, the trickiest thing for me now, are you in at nighttime or during the day?
We're daytime.
Okay, so
Yeah.
honestly, at night, sometimes I prefer it because you can really see the muzzle flashes better, and you
Yeah.
can you can lay down fire where you know it's coming from. In the daytime, dude, depending how far away you are, it's difficult to find out where you're getting shot at from. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and then that first couple moments, dude, it's like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Because comm is always jacked up. You got,
Yeah.
Everyone's like trying to figure out where everything's coming from, and it's just like it's almost like you can live in that 1 second when shit first pops off. It's like, holy shit, dude, this is it. Rack them back and send it out, dude. And
Well, I mean, that was our first firefight like by ourselves,
oh, gotcha.
right?
How
So
many
this
guys?
was
How many
like
guys?
6 guys. There's
Okay,
six of us.
gotcha.
There's 6 of us, and they said they'll estimate around like 50 Taliban fighters that were going coming at us. So I mean,
Shit.
we're like highly outnumbered, right? The only thing in our favor is that like every single one of us is like a precision shooter, right?
So,
But
so no crew serves.
we had one saw,
Gotcha.
one
Shit,
saw,
lucky. You
1,000
lucky you
rounds.
had that. Okay.
You know, like one saw, 1,000 rounds, man. That's all we had, you know.
So
And I guess we
how
could
does
throw
that
back.
work? How does that work when you get like 6 guys? Most of them are precision shooters, and you have one saw. Now, does the saw kind of kick off and the precision guys follow it, or I mean,
Oh,
how did you work it?
man, this was kind of crazy, man, because we were in a house Christmas Eve.
No shit.
And yeah, man, it's Christmas Eve, and we all wanted to go back to the fob to like go and call our families and
Of course.
whatever, you
So
know.
it meant a little more. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And so we were like being like lackadaisical
Gotcha.
because we
Your
if someone
mind was
saw
out.
us,
Your mind was out there. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, because
That's
we're like,
fair.
we don't want to blow the mission on purpose, but it wasn't a real mission.
Gotcha.
And it's an area where the G boss could have seen, but like we did it instead.
Gotcha.
And so we were out there. We weren't too like concerned about being compromised or whatnot. And we had set up we thought like a decent pause, right, in a house. And we had some keyholes made, right, like so we had the M40 going through a keyhole looking into the village. You know, we had the SAS like built up, but like not doing much. And then my boy Pierce, man, um, he like starts calling it out. He's like, man, I see some like real shaky movement going on over here. Some guys going back to forth, and we're all just like, whatever, just watch them. You know, no big deal. We've been doing this for months. Like it's the same thing. And all of a sudden he goes, hey man, this guy just jumped in the house real quick. And then that dude pulled out a cruiser, laid it down, and Pierce got the first shot off, man.
No
It was
shit.
yeah, he got the first shot off on this dude, and then all I hear is like bang, and he goes, he's down. So it
Nice.
like basically every sniper's dream,
Set the
right?
tone.
Set the tone, right? Like we're coming, like we see you, we got you, we know
Yep.
where you're at.
Yep.
And then some guy got on the cruiser. Next thing I feel, dude, on the wall behind me, just straight up. And I was just like, wow, man. And for us, when we're in a house, we take all of our stuff off.
Yeah, of course. I hear you.
And we roll super slick anyway. So it's not like we have a lot of protection
Yeah.
to begin with.
No, that's at the point where you're really juggling mobility, being able to
Yeah.
move, and protection. Now, sometimes I hear you, dude. I like to be slick sometimes just to be able to maneuver, dude. But
Yeah.
you got to consider, you hear me what I'm saying. But
Yeah. I mean, our thing was that like we got real lucky, man. We didn't lose anybody till like we were like in our February month. So we've been there for about 5 months. We didn't lose
okay,
anybody till February. And so our idea was like it's all IEDs driven right now. Side sappies aren't going to save us.
very true, very true.
So
Yeah.
let's take
Yeah.
those out, right? Um, the funniest thing is though, man, I was complaining about my sappies being heavy for the entire time we were there. Apparently, I never switched my sappies out, so I was wearing training sappies like the whole time I was there.
now,
So
now, do you what would you have, an M4?
yeah, I had M4 with the 203.
Okay, nice, clutch.
Yeah,
So did you in that instance, you had an ACOG, correct? Obviously.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you sight in on anything, dude? Could you see guys moving, or how far out
It
were
was
they, you
weird,
think?
right? So I got up, I peek over the wall and let some rounds pop off or whatever. And then my buddy Downs, who's like, my guy, he says like, hey man, stay down, right? He's like, this is like different.
Got you.
And
That means they
so
were
I stayed
close,
down
rounds
for
were
most of
cracking.
yeah, I stayed down for most of the fight, right? And I was basically just running, right? So I was helping with the saw. I was calling it on the radio, whatnot, giving reports up. But in that situation, man, we were like extremely outnumbered, right? Like throwing grenades at people, like
Wow. That's
Yeah,
that,
man.
that's significant, dude. That means they were close.
is,
Damn.
Well, we actually
is
laid
that
our
when
packs
you,
up in the middle. So we piled all of our packs together. We put the rifles up on top, and we were gonna throw an incendiary grenade on there and run
Oh shit.
because yeah, they were that close, man. It was like it was a real situation. We called in air support. Air support would not fire into the village, and yeah, so we were on our own, right? We called in QRF. QRF got attacked on the way out. Said
Oh
that
no
we couldn't
shit.
make it. Yeah, man, we were extremely on our own, man. And then the team that was there before us, they got blown up in a similar situation. And the team that was there before them, they got captured.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So we were like, oh man, this is like a life or death thing. It's like
Yeah.
real, you know.
so,
So,
yeah,
but I don't know what came over us, man. But my boy Hambrick, like he just made the call, like we're not gonna run, we're gonna fight, and we all just said, okay, man, we're gonna die together then, you know.
Fucking A.
yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, Michael, that was the night you got hurt, right? That you took
No,
a
I got
little.
hurt like a month later or something like that. I can't
Now,
remember. But I
something
mean,
that,
yeah, we were in some like fairly like hairy situations, but that one absolutely, man, like sticks out, man, because we were in a house. From the
Oh,
house
hell yeah.
to the next cover was 500 meters. So we knew that we were bounding.
yes.
We knew that like once we got into the field, it's like every man for himself
Yep.
almost, right?
Absolutely. So it's something you just said right there kind of stuck out to me. Accepting death with
Yeah.
individuals, man. That's a heavy thing right there. It's actually something that a lot of people talk about, Marines specifically. Thinking back home and thinking about the things that you have back there sometimes can cloud the mind, man. And when you choose to accept death with the men to the left and right of you and say, we're going to give it to them and we're going to put everything on the line. It's almost like a feeling that floods over your body, man. It becomes real right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And not to say I'm happy you said that, but it shows me that you really accepted this thing and it really meant the ultimate sacrifice to you. And I commend you for that, man. And
Yeah, thanks, bro.
I've been in similar situations and something, I don't know, it's something happens in the mind when something like that happens, man. And it doesn't really leave you. And
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, man, how was coming back after something like that? Was it a little rough, you know?
You know, I'm lucky, man. I'm real lucky because my brother-in-law was stationed at Lejeune with me. And so my sister was there with my nephew. My brother-in-law is like a PA. He was like a lieutenant at the time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yeah. So he was like the battalion surgeon.
Come on.
Yeah. So I got real lucky, man. I came home, like yeah, I got to live in officer housing, you
Wow.
know. I didn't have a car for like 2.5 years or 2 years, and I came back. They bought me like a 99 Volkswagen GTI, man. I felt like
Ooh.
a king then, you know. And but I mean, sleeping was hard, you know. I was
Yeah.
drinking a lot, you
Yep.
know. My dad, I remember he like showed up at the airport in San Francisco. He got this big sign, right? The sign's like, "Hey, welcome home," you know. And he gives me a hug, and I was like, "What the fuck you doing, man? Like, don't hug me," you know.
I was
So
weird
I
about
mean,
that shit. I was weird about that shit too. Something about physical touch. I don't know what it is, man. You don't have it for so long. When you get back, it's just I don't know. It's weird.
yeah, yeah, man. So I mean, I was lucky to get to go back home to like my sister. My family was right there immediately, and they weren't going to leave in a week or something, you know. But eventually, I like moved back into the barracks, and that's when I was like, okay, well, now I'm back in the. They put us in these condemned barracks, man. Everyone's smoking in the hallways and drinking all day, all night,
Fuck
you
yeah.
know. And man, it was debaucherous, you
No, I
know.
hear you. Great word.
Yeah, it's debaucherous. So I mean, we were just partying up, man, drinking like a fifth a night.
Of
So
course. Of course.
that went on for maybe like I don't know for some people's entire lives,
No, I hear you.
you know.
Yeah.
Plus that
So
spice was real big too. You know, people got
spice.
spice. Man, that was
I
wild.
forgot about that, man.
That was wild.
So someone twisted my arm and fucking forced it upon me one of those weekends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
But that was a wild thing right there, man. I've never really felt that feeling. I've done like not pharmaceuticals, hallucinogens, like
Yeah, yeah.
shrooms and stuff before, but that, like, I don't know what that stuff is made out of, but I'll tell you one thing: I never did it again. That scared the
Dude,
ever
we had
living
some
shit
guy
out
end
of
up
me.
naked on the freeway.
Come on,
I swear to God, man. He ended up naked on the freeway, and then he had some mental health issues though, man. Because we were in Afghan. He said if he like walked into the COC and was like, "I can't do another patrol. I can't do it."
shit.
And like when we're there, you're thinking like, "Man, you're a coward."
Of course,
Retrospectively, like he just knew himself better,
it's
right?
true.
He knew that I can't
You
take
put
this next
you
one.
put that very well. And
Yeah.
it's, I was talking about that the other day, actually. The op tempo is so high when you're doing stuff like that. A lot of the times you don't self-reflect. You don't
Yeah.
realize what you're going through when you're going through it. And that's why I think, oh, actually, guys, hey, we're running out right here. I got to send you new coordinates for the next video. So I'm going to log out of this, and uh, Chris, I'll shoot it to you and you can send it to Mike. Good to go?
Sounds good.
All right. Stand
So
by. Stand by. Okay, so we talked a little bit about a significant firefight you got into, and coming back a little bit. So what are you doing now, man?
Man, so now I'm a college student, man, mainly. So I'm finishing up my degree in environmental occupational safety and health.
Okay. What's the goal?
Well, I mean, like, so like part of the goal is like, I think like a lot of people get out, right? Then they like do like whatever job just kind of comes up or whatever. And I know like for a lot of my buddies, like seeing them get out, they didn't think they could like go to college and like get like a real degree or whatever. Not discrediting other degrees, but like, my field's in STEM, right?
Okay.
So heavy chem, heavy bio, heavy math or
That
whatnot.
dude, you're an intelligent individual, because that when I ever did anything like that, it kind of bent my brain backwards. It was something that really takes a lot out of you for sure.
Well, I mean, I think anybody can do it, man. Like to be
Really?
honest, I really do. Like it's just like I'm not like the smartest guy, you know. Um, I just like apply myself, and like especially when you think about it like this, right? You get bad grades, you don't get paid.
Very true.
Right. So that's a huge motivating factor to like finish that out, right? Like I got out, man, and then I got out like June 28th. I started college like July 1st.
Wow.
Yeah, and I almost
Right into
failed.
it.
Yeah, man, I almost failed on my first semester.
Shit.
Yeah, I got like a D in inorganic chemistry and like a C in it's like a summer session. I got like a C in comm. Who gets a
Okay.
C in comm, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that again, you know, because I got the letter from the VA saying like you're on probation, and I was like,
Big kick in the
okay,
ass.
yeah, man, I'm back in the Bay Area. I'm living at my dad's house, and I'm pulling in major BAH. They're like 6,000 a month in BAH,
Ooh.
just pocketing it. Like my first month out the Navy, man, it was like a $13,000 a month.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is
so
gorgeous. Jeez,
yeah,
I'm
I was
jealous.
like, money's raining from the sky. I can't spend it fast enough. I'm having a great time. And but then that happened, right? And it really kicked me in the face. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, then I gotta do this. And I yeah, man, I went after it. But I mean, anybody can do it, man. That's part of the reason why I do that. It's to show everybody, like, hey, look, like just because you're a grunt or you did this job or like, you're at that lower 1% of Americans who like joined the military or whatever they say, like don't discredit yourself. You can go out there and like get a STEM degree. You can be
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
scientist, if you want to, and
Oh, I
even
hear
if,
you. If you really want to, like, it's
yeah,
not just saying it, but I think you really said it right there. Is if you would really actually apply yourself and go after it. And I think a lot of the answers to a lot of these mental health things, man, is just staying busy, staying busy, keeping your head locked in on something, and keeping it off some of those things that are lingering in there, and bothering you. But I commend you for that, man. That's awesome that right when you got out, you went right back into it, stayed busy, and I wish the best for you, man. I hope you succeed through that, and I hope you take it somewhere where you can make something out of it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. I mean, like I got a couple job offers right now. I'm doing like some research stuff at SDSU.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah, man, some environmental research there. I got a job with like a construction company where I do like safety violations, right? Or I'm like a safety engineer for
Oh,
them or
cool.
whatnot.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty boring job, but
Puts
it
money in the account, though, right?
it puts a pretty good amount of money in the account.
So,
Like
so if
it's
you
pretty
don't
good.
mind, Mike, can you tell us how you and Chris met? And Chris, I don't know, tell us a little bit how you guys, met each other and how you're.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go first, Mike. So I just want to say this. We'll go through how me and Mike
I'm
met.
gonna hit the head real quick, guys. Take it.
I fucking met Mike, brother. You know how much you mean to me. Fucking dropped everything to fly out here to be with me. And you are my brother, and I do love you.
Yeah, man, I love
You
you too,
dropped
man.
everything to fucking be here, bro. That means something, dude.
Well, I mean, I love you, man. I mean, I'll be there for whenever I can. If I can be there, I'll be there.
No, I know that, bro. Fuck, we talk every day almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people just don't understand that either. But like, no, yeah, fuck, me and you damn near talk every day. I'm checking in on little Diana, and you know, well, I got to check in on you too, make sure you're doing okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think most of the time I'm like out and about doing something or whatever.
It is what
On
it
my,
is.
on my way to my next assignment.
Adventure.
Oh,
I really appreciate you doing this, dude. Like, this has been huge for me. Them letting me on here and doing this with them. It's been huge, man. And especially having you. Like, you're my goddamn brother, dude. You know? Yeah. It's fucking awesome that you're on here, man. It
yeah, man.
it
I
really
appreciate
is.
it. Fun. It's fun to like come on, talk to people, tell some stories, kind of bullshit a little bit, you know. Uh, it's fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is, man. I mean, and with guys like me, you and Nick and all, like we can share stories with each other that most people just wouldn't get. It'd be
Yeah,
like if me, you and Derek talked on the phone.
yeah.
Derek could sit there and drop, you know, Derek knowledge on us. One of the smartest fuckers I know. But
Derek has a lot of random knowledge in his head.
yes, 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 he
I
does.
generally don't try to debate that man.
No, dude. Unless you like losing, don't do
I
that.
am willing, I am willing to fight him whenever he wants to make his way down to San Diego, and we can roll for a little while because I'm very
Isn't he a
curious.
blue belt? He's a blue belt now, isn't he?
I'm very curious about where I don't care where Derek's at. I'm very curious to see where we stand on that together.
I got your back, brother.
I'm
I
very
got his
curious.
back too, though. So I'm sorry, man. But no, so and I'll wait for Nick to get back on this one. Um, but one thing I want to bring up, and it's what we focus on. We try to focus on with this is, PTS and TBI and all that. And I know your past, but the audience doesn't know your past. But let's go to when me and you were instructors together. Let's go there. We had some good times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. You want to talk about like we're instructors?
Yeah.
Oh man. So that would have been like I got there in 2013, so that's like 2014, like 2013, 2015 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think I took over from Jan in like late 2013.
Yeah. 20. Yeah, 13 or 14. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like late 2013 or early 2014 or whatnot. And like the program was good. I just had like a different vision for it than Jan did, right? And like
Hmm.
also like I work things out differently in my head where like Jan was just like trying to get like classes going, classes going, classes going. And my idea was like I don't want to have to teach this whole thing by myself for a week, right? And so my idea
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm gonna take some guys who I know have done these things before, like me, and have them set up to teach the majority of the curriculum, so that I can have the job as like the administrator for this program. So then I could focus on doing other things for the program rather than putting butts in seats and like reading PowerPoints all day,
Yeah.
right? And then once I
Right.
got everybody, like I think I'd started with like you and Derek and Jan when Jan was still there, right? And
Yeah. You guys doing the swap, you and Jan.
yeah, and then so like I had you, Derek, and Jan, and like I would like shoot a lot of things off Derek, and Derek had like a lot of really good ideas for the course or whatnot. And the big one was like we need to make like the finale of this difficult, right? But not so
Hmm.
difficult where it's like not passable, right? We want to make sure that it's passable as long as you work as a team. And then, but we did have like that idea of doing that whole like Mogadishu Mile thing or
The
whatever, where
Mogadishu
like
Mile. Yeah.
we ran
Yeah.
them we took them patrolling on the trail or whatever and got them into like having like a baby tactical mindset or whatever, keeping their head on a
Yeah. Yeah.
swivel, like, doing all that stuff. But then we brought in like other guys, right? Like we had Bus come in there and,
That bus came in.
yeah, like had some other homies come in there and help us or whatever. And then that was like fun, man. I mean, I remember that summer. It's like summer like 2014 or like right before I left in 2015. Man, we are like setting up the IEDs with the flour baby powder in them and stuff, and people are
Hmm.
stepping on them and just trying to teach people like, look, man, like if you really want to go out there and you want to do this job as like an FMF foreman or whatever and be with the grunts or whatever, you have to have this mindset of like a twig isn't always a twig, you know, a
Yeah.
divot in the
Yeah.
ground isn't always a divot, right? And then like Bus was like, I mean, I gave that to Bus to do, right? And like, man, that dude's out there like making fake ant trails and stuff, you know? He's like
Yeah.
making ant
He,
trails.
yeah, dude, he was I'll say psychopath in the nicest fucking way. I love Bus,
Yeah.
dude. I love John. I love John. And then
Yeah,
we had
I mean, he's
Conley,
my favorite.
we had Mark out there with us too. Conley,
Yeah. I mean,
and it's
that
like,
guy was my favorite trader, man. He's an MA now. But I mean, he
yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, but that was my idea, man, was like have you guys there as like my instructor cadre, right? So like I had a group of dudes who I could trust, knowing that like they like had been out there doing that job before, and they were going to get pertinent information, right? And my ultimate goal was like have if I have guys out there who've done this before, then like statistically, these people should do a better job when it comes time to actually do the work. So, but I mean, behind the scenes, I mean, you guys like probably didn't see like the battles I fought for everybody, right? Like many times, like people complained about you guys, and I was just in there like fighting back at them, like, no, you guys know what you're talking about, or the whole mannequin situation there. I got that like $200,000 mannequin, like that was
Yeah.
a hard sell too. So I mean, um, but I mean, yeah, I mean that was nice though, man. That group of guys that we had there, like they're still like homies, right? Like I talk to you like every
Yeah.
day, Chris. I mean, I
Yeah.
talk to Derek like fairly often, Mark, whenever, and we had great dudes, man. I mean, we had two Bronze Star recipients as instructors,
Badass.
you
Yeah.
know. That made me feel good that like for some reason like these dudes who like have Bronze Stars for Valor are like coming to like wanting to work with me, right? And wanting to work with what I created, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Motivating, definitely. Kind of pumps you up to do your job a little bit better just to be on their level. Absolutely. I can understand
Yeah,
that.
man. I mean, these guys are like giants, right? They're giants to us. So I mean, then you work with them, you realize like, oh man, this guy's just another asshole. This dude's got problems
Yeah.
just like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Gents, I got to wrap this up on my end. Mike, it was a pleasure having you on tonight. I'd love to talk to you again. If
Yeah,
there's
no worries.
anyone in your circles that would like to come on and talk to us, it would be an honor. So feel free. And definitely, the main goal here, you guys, is just we want to tell everybody stories, man. I feel like the podcasts that are out right now, it really just shows like the creme de la creme, the sharpest point of the spear, the special ops guys and the sexy positions. But I'm trying to tell the basic military guys stories and what they did for this country and the battles that we had, and
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man.
but once again, it's great meeting you, Mike. I look forward to having you on again, and stay in touch. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Chris, it's always a pleasure, and I think we got a couple more guys coming on later tonight, so I'll keep you posted, and we'll get you on that as well. But in the meantime, Mike,
Right
it was
on.
a pleasure. Semper Fi, guys, and stay safe and have a good night.
Yeah, man. Raw.
All right.
Yeah.